everybody, I'm Lexi, and for this assignment, I decided to interview my mom. I just feel like being a generation above me, it would really give me the chance to show the difference between now and then. Um, so overall, I think the interview went really well. I noticed some questions were difficult for her to understand, but we were able to find common ground and find a way so she could comprehend it to give me an appropriate answer that would be beneficial for this interview. So there were many answers that surprised me, which related to a lot of our topics in class. For example, gender inequality with regards to race, leisure, and salary in the workplace. For example, my mom mentioned that when she was younger, her high school couldn't get enough girls to try out for the soccer team, so they didn't have a women's soccer team in her high school. So what did she do? She tried out for the men's soccer team, and you could see that there would probably be issues there, which there were. A lot of boys didn't want to accept it that there was a girl on their team and they didn't want to get beat by a girl. So, what did my mom do? She went to the district and got it all handled. And then she was able to play for the varsity soccer team. And she did really well. And I praise her for that. Um, let's see. I think with society in regards to gender inequality, many people do not want to adjust to women participating with the men. And I still feel like that is occurring today, which is a big issue because, again, it forms a gender gap. Um, Another answer that stood out to me was when I asked her about paid and unpaid work. My mom stated, at work, I get paid to deal with issues, at home, I don't. I just thought that was really intriguing because when you think about it, it's like people don't like work and they don't like issues, but when there's like an incentive such as pay, you get it done. And then when I thought about, oh, what about when you have issues at home or with kids? Like, what motivates you to handle those issues and get them done? I don't know, I never really thought about it that way and it just stood out to me. Um, Also, I noticed something that stood out to me was the leisure restraints for women, men, and parents, or like regardless of like gender as an issue. I feel like everybody has issues when you have a kid and you're struggling. Um, for example, my mom was talking about leisure how leisure has changed compared to the past and present. She stated, if where I am going isn't kid friendly, then I have to worry because then there isn't a place for my child to be when I get the opportunity to go somewhere. And sometimes that issue alone can prevent many leisure chances that she may get. And I honestly noticed this even in my sister. She's 10 years older than me and she has a kid. And a lot of the time she refuses to go places with people or anybody because it's not kid friendly. And it's really discouraging to see that she can't go somewhere just because of one restraint. So I feel like, again, the leisure is an issue. Like, she's giving up her leisure time to like satisfy her child, which isn't a bad thing, but sometimes it's not fair to her because everybody needs their own leisure activity. Um, as mentioned before, I learned that my mom played on the boys soccer varsity team in high school. I thought that was pretty encouraging because it just goes to show that who cares if they're a boy and you're a girl? Like, you could do anything a guy can do. She then goes on to define feminism as, she stated, it means that I can do anything a man can do. It also proves to me that I can be just as successful as a man high up in power. It influenced my life because Oh, sorry. It influenced my life because I don't put boundaries on what I can accomplish. I make small, realistic goals, and once I reach a goal, I make a new one. She goes on to explain that despite the challenges of being a woman in upper management, you learn to find like a boundary and like a way to get through those challenges. Like she's strong, independent, and she just goes to prove herself to those who look down upon her just because she is a woman. And I know a lot of women experience these challenges in the workforce still today. I know my sister does. My mom, she said she does. And it's just sad to see that things are still an issue that need to get fixed. Um, but I think by asking her some of these deep, powerful questions that many individuals avoid on a daily basis due to whatever reason, I think they could be really eye opening when you sit down and answer these questions yourself. Like, hey, I'm a woman. This is how my life goes. Like, how does it go for a man? And then you can kind of compare the two. And I feel like when you look at the contrast, you will see a huge difference between a man and a woman's lifestyle and their responsibilities. Um, One takeaway lesson I learned is that despite my mom being a generation older than I, society as a whole, women are women as a majority are still experiencing the gender gap with regards to whatever situation. I have acknowledged that women do not have as much opportunity, but it has increased since the past, which is always beneficial, such as Title IX. I mean, it thankfully like it helped my mom. Like she was able to play on the men's soccer team, um, and like today, like despite being the quota that was mentioned in one of our videos, I still feel like they're trying to find a way for men and women to have equal opportunity in the sports or athletic side of things. Um, and with regards to leisure in particular, I feel that women have to work harder to earn the reward, even though they deserve it. I feel like men can walk straight towards the pot at the end of the rainbow without an issue, but women, like, they have to fight for it and they have to prove their worth, even though it shows on like the data and everything. And I just feel like there's a lot of issues still going on that need to be fixed. And I just hope one day like the gender gap and gender inequality can be a little bit smaller. Like I feel like it's always going to be there because of gender norms from the past generations. It's just something people believe in and those beliefs are hard to change. But I hope that in the future there's enough power to open people's minds that, you know, women do deserve to be equal to men, despite gender. But yeah, thank you.